Okay, today I'm going to tell you about another cast-on. The cast-on we're going to talk about today is the cable cast-on. It's formed very similarly to the knitted cast-on, except instead of knitting into the stitch, you actually work in between the first and second stitches. You go between the stitches instead of into the stitch to pull the loop up. It makes a little nicer looking edge than the knitted cast-on. I'll hold that up here so you can see. You don't get the holes in between the stitches. So it makes it holds its shape better than the knitted cast-on. However, the cable cast-on is not without its own set of problems. Knitted fabric is elastic. It has, stretch and give. So typically we want a cast-on that will stretch and give with it and still hold its shape. The cable cast-on is a very inelastic, firm cast-on, so it doesn't move much, and that's why it kind of keeps it from being, your go-to cast-on. I see it often called for in patterns where it shouldn't be, and I'm not clear why they would want to do that. The number one use we usually have for the cable cast-on is in the buttonhole, because the buttonhole, you don't want those to stretch. There's going to be several kinds that we're going to show you. The knitted version, and if there's a knitted version, there's a purl version. There's also a twisted version that puts an extra twist in it and makes it even more inelastic, which again, buttonholes come to mind for that. So here's the cable cast-on.
The cable cast-ons are very much akin to the knit cast-ons as far as how the stitches are made, although the results are very different. There is a knit and a purl side to these cast-ons, and they produce a very firm edge. This is the knit version of the cable cast-on. Begin with a short tail and a slip knot on the left needle. Knit on the first stitch. Now go between these stitches, wrap, pull the loop through and place on the left needle. Continue to cast on stitches, always going between the first and second stitches on the left needle. You will find it much easier if you don't tighten the loop after placing it on the left needle until after you place the needle between the stitches. And if you throw, it will look like this. As you can see, this cast-on creates a row of knit stitches and is quite firm. This is the purled version of the cabled cast-on. Again, begin with a short tail and a slip knot on the left needle. Make a purl knit on for the first stitch. Now go between these two stitches from back to front, wrap as to purl, pull through a loop, and place on left needle. Before tightening this loop, place the right needle between the first two stitches from back to front to make the next cast on. And this is what it looks like if you throw. This is the twisted version of the cable cast-on. It is most often used for buttonholes. This is worked the same as cable knit, except that you turn the loop when you place it on the left needle. The needle goes into the loop from right to left. Go between the stitches, wrap as to knit, pull through a loop and place it on the left needle from right to left. This creates a very strong, firm edge, which is why it is usually the cast-on used for one-row buttonholes.